Let's go.
Hello, hello. Welcome to
Hey everybody.
a
Oh, hey.
emergency rainy episode of Can We
Yeah.
Talk Sports. I was like, oh my God, the rain is just coming in. I don't know if we're gonna do this show, but I'm excited. First of all, I just wanna start I can't even start this show out without saying our condolences to Mr. Mike Huckman. Did I say that right?
Hickman.
Hickman, Mr. Mike and his family, his children, his wife, his extended family, coaches, the players. We send our condolences out to the sports world. I mean, it's almost like everybody felt something or compassionate about what has happened. And so if you look, we are also sharing the GoFundMe. There's a GoFundMe page to help raise money for his funeral service, as well as, he was the breadwinner. So to be able to provide to that family during this time, it should be in the comments. I will share it again if anyone wants to know, but I just wanted to start out by definitely saying that. And so tonight's show is just about parents, coaches, just kind of jumping on and just kind of just talking, just kind of we talk this thing through. We've got some updated information about, Mike and where he was at the game and that kind of stuff. We'll let Arisha kind of share some of that, but it's just about us having a conversation. I think it's time for us to talk.
Yeah.
You ready for me to share now? Well, I just had again condolences to the family. I shared some information with Miss Karen today from a family member of Mr. Hickman, of Coach Hickman, that was a they are the family very, distraught about how this went down and how everybody's trying, the other side is portraying, oh, they, the involvement of minimizing things or whatever, and how it's affecting the kids and his wife and stuff like that. Um, the fact that he was not an aggressor in the situation, and you know these individuals were attacking him in the midst of him actually assisting his best friend's football game by holding a yard marker, I believe. He went to get the ball. I'm sure everybody probably, a lot of people have heard this story. Basically, the game prior to that had got forfeited, or the game had got forfeited. There was an argument over the final touchdown or whatever the situation may have been. That's where the argument happened at, and that's why you see the video where the guy's telling the ref, "Hey, that's everybody was in debate about this touchdown." So the ref decided, no, this is a good call. The other coach or somebody or so was like, hey, it's getting too rowdy out here. We want to forfeit. We already won, blah, blah, blah. So in the midst, the team that was playing with the ball, I guess one of Mike's footballs. He go get the ball. When he go try to get the ball, one of the guys from the other side, the Talib's team, kicked the ball. And I guess they kicked it pretty far wherever they kicked it at. When he went to pick the ball up, they hit it. Somebody stole off on him. And so that's where the altercation happened. So basically, he started getting jumped or whatever, getting away from it. He had the pole thing in his hand because he was actually the guy doing the yard marker for that game. He was actually there assisting another team. Just how they sometimes have to call somebody out the stand and say, "Hey, we need somebody to hold a yard markers." And so he stayed. From my understanding, that was his best friend's team that was playing. And so I guess words may have been exchanged behind him, after him getting the football. but for whatever reason, somebody felt the need to hit the man while he was picking up the ball. I guess he asked him, "Bro, why you throw my ball?" So it was just that petty, just
Mm.
something that petty, just to go escalate. People already heated over this touchdown with this kid. And from my understanding, even the kid who scored the touchdown, and this is from the words of an individual that's closely involved. This is a family member of Mike's that's even saying that it was over 80 kids out there that are affected by this. And the kid that scored the touchdown that the commotion was behind, it's to me is what they call survivor's remorse. He feels he's responsible for Coach Mike getting killed. He don't ever want to play football again because he think his touchdown is what caused the problem. Now his coach is dead, or his friend, this other coach is dead. So the bottom line, if you look at the video of it, everybody's seen it. The individual who pulled the trigger wasn't even in the front of the altercation. You came to the from the very back to just shoot this man for no reason. And growing up, we all done had kids, relatives playing little league. We done seen a little heated up arguments go on, but I ain't never seen nothing
Mm-mm.
go this far. That's even in track. It's a competitive thing. You hear all sports, but out of all the years that my son played little league, I ain't seen nobody get that mad that they even threaten to go get a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting because I was on Tuesday in my community of moms. We talked about this topic. What can we do differently? And what was startling is that one of the moms in my community, she was saying that her son now is in high school, but when he was in little league, like 9, 10 years old, that they had a situation where, again, it was words exchange over a game, and the person shot the coach. But they shot the coach like near the bathrooms where the kids were. So the coach survived in this instance. But just to hear her say that even a few years ago that this was the case, and that we as parents are so oblivious, because she was saying how her son was literally standing within a couple of feet of where the gun was fired. And I'm thinking to myself, when do we as parents just simply not, we just, it's like, for me, it's a lack of care of kids. Like, how are you going to support kids? That's your whole purpose for being in the stands. But you really, at your core, don't care about their basic physical safety. That just boggles my mind. It doesn't flow together. You can't say you support them and then you don't care if they're safe.
Yeah. Anthony, you got something to say? Anthony is a coach.
Well, the thing is that I think that some of these coaches that do coach, they think it's all about them, and you get in that mindset. It's all about you. You know, they don't care about what happens to the kids or anything like else, because all these kids now are traumatized for life, and so that's not the reason why I don't coach. I don't coach like that, or any coach that I such way don't coach like that, because we're here for the kids, and that's the whole point of coaching these young. The mentoring them, that's not even part of mentoring right there. You just traumatize kids for life about one stupid incident.
Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody today, and they were just talking about how you don't see this in the white community. You see it more in the black community. So I had a conversation with my husband, and my husband was like, no, that's not true. He said we're in a time where black people are first thing they do is bring out their phone, because it's almost like we have to bring it out to record, to show people that this is what really happened, whereas white people didn't necessarily don't necessarily have to do that. And so because of that, that's why you're seeing all these videos of, as a method that we're having to prove ourselves. We have a video now to prove ourselves, whereas in the white community, they didn't have to go through that. And so I'm, curious of your thoughts about that. Do you, because sometimes we kind of take it on like it's I'm sad when it happens to us, but it kind of looks like this is only happened to the black people, and I don't think so. So, you guys have any comments to that?
I'm going to say one of the first Lifetime movies I ever watched was about a white mom whose daughter didn't make the cheerleading squad and how she killed the
Mm,
other cheerleader as a
I
result.
Yep.
We're not going to act like Tanya Harding didn't happen. So it is equal. I think that for me, technology makes it more accessible. In the past, you did have to wait for a Lifetime movie to document it, but now everyone has a cell phone with a camera, and so you're immediately recording things. And for good or for bad, black trauma, it sells.
Yeah.
Mm, wow.
That's true.
right. It's just like just sitting here, y'all, just thinking and talking about the situation. My chest is hurting, literally, as a mom. Like it's almost like they brought the street mentality to where we at, to the sports world. You know how, you come from the streets or whatever, or the hood or whatever the case might. It's like they brought it to the field, the mentality, grown people. And it's sad because how do you think of bringing a gun to a game?
This is what I'm going
Period.
to ask: is Texas open carry?
Period.
Is Texas an open carry state?
I
Yes.
believe
Yeah. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. They are.
So, I mean, I know people might this not may make people uncomfortable, but should it be? Should you be able to carry a gun everywhere?
Not to no kids game.
Yeah.
Because like, let's be real. My man's brother's in the NFL. How had been successful in the NFL for a very long time. How really hood was he? How really how hood are you at this point post the NFL?
Well,
Uh,
some of that looks like it branched over into the NFL, to be honest.
Exactly.
Just go look back at some of his film and video. The
Hmm.
fighting on the field and going too far. And, there was an incident we heard that he had with Crabtree. We
yes.
heard
Absolutely.
after that incident happened, Crabtree car actually got shot up.
Yeah.
After an
North
incident that took
Dallas.
out on the field. Yeah.
Yeah. He from North Dallas, right?
Yep.
Garland.
He is.
So
They
he
out of
has a
Garland.
track record.
Yeah, from
So
Garland, from
again,
what I
you
was
brought
told.
the street mentality to the football field where these kids at, and you should not do that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel angry as a parent for those coaches, for a wife. Like we need to speak up. If we need security, it's crazy because now we need security at a little league game. Are you
Wow.
serious? It's sad. And like you
It
said, Icy, when my boys was growing up, it wasn't nothing like this.
right. And not to interrupt you, let me address one of the comments. We know that the brother is the one that did the shooting, but there is a history of both of them being bad actors. And there's, we're out here for out of Dallas right here, so we know some
Hmm.
other stuff outside that some of may is actually public information. Some of you guys just have to look it up. We're
Right.
very aware. We wouldn't get on here giving misinformation that we weren't clear of. So we're very aware that it's not Talib that did the shooting. But he has a history of being a bad actor on the NFL football field too. And some of that, which is heated stuff that happened on a football field, just adrenaline, has been rolled off that field and went into the streets. After an incident that was just a freaking, you know, a moment where two people being competitive, it went further off the field after that incident, and that's for a fact.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Mike, thank you for joining us, Mr. Scott. Now, Mr.
Yeah,
Scott,
yeah,
you've been a
my pleasure.
coach.
My pleasure.
You've
My
been a coach. How do you deal with them parents?
pleasure. That's a problem in itself. But I think it's an ongoing thing. Um, I looked at that video, and that was a very sad situation there. Uh, didn't know. Hope I'm glad I don't know any of the players or any of the people. Um, but yeah, that's definitely a situation where somebody just said it's sad that now you're gonna have to have security or some type of law enforcement official at a youth game. Oh man, that's bad news. Because what is it going to? What are we doing as parents? What are we doing as parents? I think parents should be obligated to have to sign some type of contract or something. Um, just let them know, hey, okay, you're liable for what's going on, and if you get to the point where you decide that you want to step onto the field, you might as well go ahead and take your child home. Bad to say, and if it has to get to that, it has to get to that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like that too. I mean, you almost like you're going to be screening the kids, or even though the kids will be the one that would be punished, but to hold the parents up to some kind of standard that okay, you get, what do they call zero tolerance or something like that,
Yeah.
where
Yep.
if you get in trouble, then your kid is off the team, and so I don't know if that's going to make parents like, okay, I need to go and act right.
But the thing in this case, this wasn't the parents.
And
Right.
coaches.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it wasn't the parents.
So how do to me the league needs to monitor who it is that they're allowed to run a little league team.
Oh yeah,
They put
background.
they put they put do background checks.
Yeah, and
But
so I'm sure that their team was automatically approved because who's the guy in the league that's running a team. You know what I mean?
So
yeah, and,
Favoritism.
was it a coach or who was it?
yeah, it was a
Well,
coach.
It was coaches. Those were
coaches.
coaches having altercation. Those were no parents at all involved in that. I mean, I'm sure they're parents, but they were on the field were coaches from each team. But the opposing team, one of the other teams was you see all those guys, that's one whole coaching staff on one guy who actually is a coach of a little league team, but
Hmm.
he wasn't coaching his team at the time. He was holding the yard marker to help his friend's team who was playing at the time.
Okay,
And
so
their
the whole
game, I believe, had already been over with earlier, so they needed somebody to hold the first down marker thingies, and he was helping his best friend from what his family member, his cousin told me.
wow.
So it's almost like how do you if the parents acting right and the coaches ain't acting right,
Right.
Yeah, that whole staff should be gone.
And
well,
they
they
Or
shut the
already know.
league. She said that the league is over with. That particular league they're in, they got it canceled that fast. But to me, they can just go get in another league,
well, that
change
should
the
be.
name, get another league
Right.
But
Sign up as somebody else, but then be down there on the field.
on the field, right?
no, I'm saying those coaches should be banned from coaching
Yeah, now that would be good.
for like the next 4 or 5 years.
But it's
Yeah,
no way. There's no way to track that. 'Cause they can
Yes,
right.
it
go.
Right.
is. If you
There's no
do
part of
fingerprint,
Texas can coach.
Yeah.
if you do fingerprint,
Yeah, but what he's saying is hard to they can go put a little league game together against another team and play on Saturday. How they gonna know that these guys that ain't been approved don't get out there and coach? It's very hard
Yeah.
to track that.
I have
Yeah.
a question. So with these organizations and how it's so easy to have these leagues, do they get paid from this? What's the purpose? Because evidently it's not about the kids at this
It
Yeah,
point.
ain't.
they just trying to live out their dream of
Mm.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, You want to
Yeah.
live out your dream through the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of parents are like that. Lots of
Well,
adults are
well,
like
I
that.
have heard that, but that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
We had a
Parents are
conversation on Tuesday, and
wow.
one of the coaches talked about how some parents live vicariously, some adults, not just parents, but it could be a coach, it could be a trainer, live vicariously through a child. But he also made the point that sometimes people are having babies so young that they didn't have an opportunity to be children. And
Okay.
so they're not
That's a good
reliving,
point.
but they are
Living.
Yeah.
living their childhood that they never got to have
Wow.
through the
Okay.
youth sports, and that makes people take things personal that they shouldn't take personal. And I really
Right.
hadn't thought about that, but Coach Carlos was like, just think about it. If you're a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, you have a baby, or 15 or 16, or even early 20s, you don't get to do a lot.
Everything. Yeah.
And so then you have a child and you say, well, my child is going to do the things that I never got to do. And so you do take things personal. And I think that part of our problem is that parents and coaches take things personal in a way that they shouldn't.
Well, if you're 18, 19, 20 years old, hopefully you're done with your youth play. I hope you're not still out
Mike,
there.
Mike, now no, we ain't going to talk about reclassing. That they not done, that there's a lot of people not done at 18 and 19.
Right.
Sad to
And
say, yes.
it's yeah. I
Some of them in
from
college
a
at that
parent
time
because
though
I was
too.
a teenage mom, but of course I can't play football. But I love to see them boys run on out there
Hmm.
in little league and follow their
Right.
dreams. But I can't play no football. So I think it's just again, it goes back to the mindset. It goes back to and I don't want to say gender wise, with the men, did they didn't make it through high school, so they want to make it. They want their son. I don't know. It's just, it has to be. It may be some trauma there, but again, how do it get so bad till you bring a gun? I'm gonna take it back to the gun on the field. We're gonna stick to the
Yeah.
topic.
I
You know
just
what I'm saying?
I'm
Just
baffled with
I'm
that one too.
listen, I'm angry. Like, oh my God. Not gonna sin, but it's okay to be angry. Like, this is sad.
Yeah.
I got a G baby coming up. He gonna play football. And I'm gonna be out there and I love to run. You mean to tell me I need to watch out? I need to
Yeah.
no.
Gun control is a whole topic in and of itself, because
Yeah.
we
Next.
people in this country would rather see, I'm just going to say, in my opinion, based on what I have seen, especially Texas, and other places, that I don't think that you should just be able to carry a gun anywhere. I really
I
don't.
agree.
Um,
Hmm.
we just seem to, as a
Public safety.
society, not care about, if we had to choose between a gun and kids, our society, the lawmakers choose guns all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Texas. You guys just had one of the worst shootings for kids,
Yeah.
like, that
We
broke my
did.
heart.
We
That's
And
one of
did.
the things that I think about, and when I think about this situation, and that's not gonna look good for him through this phase of it because so many mass shootings are happening at this time. And then the fact that that tragedy happened in Uvalde with those babies getting killed, and you got the nerve, in spite of that, to bring that. You could have hit anybody.
Yeah. One of the things that I think I was talking to somebody is the fact that we're living in a whole different time. Like when I was growing up, there was, a lot of not a lot of violence on TV, where nowadays the kids are getting a taste of violence, sexual things now, things that You would barely even see kissing and being in the
Hmm.
bed. Now all that kind of stuff, they can see all of that through, social
Commercials,
media.
even
Mm-hmm.
commercials
True.
on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
So our kids are living in a whole, our society is living in a whole different time. So that's where the adjustment has taken place to where these things that we're experiencing now. So I don't know how we kind of keep it under a little bit under wraps, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mhm.
I mean, do we continue to educate our parents? Like Mike in his book, he talked about positive, you
Mm-hmm.
know, parents being positive, managing your emotions
Mm-hmm.
when you're at the game. My husband was saying it was just emotions. His emotions got out of hand. I can honestly say I've been in that situation before. I was a part of the ride in California when Rodney King. And so just from that ruling, and when they ruled that the people free, I mean, we were out looting. I mean, just from the emotions just came when everybody was doing it and then just joining in your emotion, and it was just like a ride that I
Yeah.
was on. But if I would have thought twice about it, especially being in the church and everything, I was like, okay, wait a minute, I can't do that. But I got caught up in it, in what everybody else was doing. And my emotions just took me to be driving on the streets and watching people breaking into the stores and running there and getting shoes out. So is it emotions? You
Oh,
know,
definitely
Yeah.
toxic.
Definitely emotions, poor impulse control, emotions.
Mm-hmm. Out of control.
Yeah. Because football is an emotional game. It can get very emotional when people still think think they playing, and at age 30, 40 years old, looking to that kid thinking, oh, once again, going back to it's about them, it's about the kids.
About the
Mm-hmm.
kids, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good question, Maya. It's not fun for kids anymore.
And now that makes imagine being a parent and this is your first year letting your kid give Little League a shot. Somebody just potentially ruined the fact that a kid could possibly get developed into being a really good football player or to learn to enjoy it
Yeah,
because now this parent is not going to take the chance. So the best thing, what do we feel like in this case? Do parents go ahead and just take their kids to skills training and just learn the individual skill set with an individual trainer, private sessions? I mean, because that's a little league football game. As he gets older, you got 7-on-7. Well, now you kind of wonder, oh, will this ever happen in a 7-on-7 game? Which is, of course, it can. Those are even older kids. Some of those guys are bigger guys. Next, it'll be a player and a coach or coaches whoever flunky he got on the sideline. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because some of these guys are big guys, and when you get older, what you do, a little trash talking.
Yeah,
A parent
it's
or a coach from the sideline say lock him up. The guy don't lock him up, and he score him off somebody. Now he pointing at the coach over here, talking about that was for you. Now you mad because this little kid, really, he looked like he had a man body, but a little kid, you can't control your emotions. Now you ready to shoot the kid. Or you saying something to somebody, kid still. So now this father's on the sideline. Hey, leave my kid alone. He look like a man, but he ain't number 15.
I
Mm-hmm.
think we are starting to see, like, so we're not seeing gun violence at 7-on-7 to my knowledge, but we are
Right.
seeing violence because
Yeah.
I just think about
Lots of brawls and stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
and also, like, in my mind when you said 7-on-7, there is a video of Cam Newton being disrespected by a
I
young
saw that.
boy at a
Yep.
7-on-7. And so I think we are starting to see that. Um, just at every level and even at every sports. Mike and I are in an AAU Facebook group, And I have to say, what, Mike, at least once or twice a week, we see videos of parents attacking refs.
Oh
Or,
wow.
Oh, I've seen
Yeah.
some of those crazy
you know,
videos.
and it's like, well, I mean, no one's going to the league tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, no one's going to the league. Like if your kid is in high school playing basketball, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, they have to play in college at least 1 year before they can go to the NBA. If your kid plays football, they have to be 3 years removed from high school. So literally, no one is going to the league. What are we
Period.
even doing
They
as
act like
parents,
that though.
as coaches, as spectators? What are we doing? They're
Yep.
not going to the league.
And some
That's
of these,
even with
yeah, and
kids.
some of these coaches be betting on games and stuff, and parents be betting on games with these young
That's
games.
where I was getting at,
Yep.
coach. It's something. It's
Yep.
something to this that we're not talking about. Come on.
Yeah,
Put it all on the table.
I've been hearing some stuff, but
Put it all on the
Yep.
table.
I've been hearing.
because
I've
why
been
are you that upset about a kid scoring this touchdown?
Come on.
yeah.
Is it a game board, a football game board
This
going
ain't the
on that
Super Bowl.
But
Yep.
come on.
I have seen parents bet lots of money on little league games.
I've
Wow.
heard that before too. I have heard that.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
thousands of dollars on little league games.
That's why I'm saying it's something, guys.
Is that what we're doing? Well, I mean, I fully say emotions. We have, as adults, poor impulse control. We don't know how to control our emotions. However, we tend to gamble on everything. And
Hmm.
gambling has become more
Oh yeah.
prevalent. And I have seen, I don't know if it's just me, but like I'm going to probably say this wrong, but my son said there's something called, they call it a parlay, where like
Yeah.
maybe you bet on the number of free throws somebody's going to get, or the number of touchdowns, or the number of yards. It's just like all these little things that people bet
Wow.
on now. So
Yep.
perhaps,
Dang,
Wow.
you just never know. You could never, because to get that
That's a whole
upset, come.
nother thing.
I mean,
Mm,
and y'all just starting little league. Like, why are you
hmm
that upset about? Y'all
There's a
just
pre.
this ain't like the little Pee Wee Super Bowl. This is week one,
It's preseason game scrimmage.
right? Don't even count for
what?
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was,
so I thought you guys were at least in season.
no, it's
No.
season don't start in 2 more weeks.
So
Wow.
imagine how the rest of this league got to go. No, they just shut that down, which ruined it for a lot of other kids that
Yeah.
probably didn't even play this weekend. That's in that league. That league is gone. Those coaches got to hurry up, go reapply to be in another league. And I don't know if it's a certain number of teams they let in the league. Do whatever approval and whatever steps it is, but that costs money for them to do that.
Yep.
Then if they're in a league with a certain team name, that team got their team name. Now they got to redo jerseys.
Are they
Wow.
doing any therapy sessions? Like, what are they doing for the kids?
mm-mm. Y'all ain't
S- So the cousin that I spoke with of Mike, she told me that they're definitely trying to get. She was like, they all need counseling. She said there was two individuals that reached out to her that said that they were trying to get together. They're counselors and therapists and stuff, and possibly do a group therapy section for the kids. Because again, it was 80 kids, over 80 kids over there out there. Um, the ones and most of them were right there in the presence of that. His own son was right there. The kid who they were arguing about the touchdown, his wife was out there. Because at that time she was like, "Come on, Mike, let's go." And he said, "Okay, let me go grab my ball." And
Mm.
all he was doing was going to get his ball that he let them borrow to play that game with. And so
That's
she
sad.
just said that all, I mean, it's just so many different effects it's had on each kid. But she was like, they're trying to work on that and figure out a way to do it, because another thing is, therapy costs.
Yeah.
But looks like someone is offering, like I said, she said two individuals were offering to reach out to possibly put together maybe some group counseling.
Mm.
And then to me, even with that, there may be a situation where they need individual counseling. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Everybody that's affecting differently. But who is going to be able to do that? Or is anybody going to be willing to say, okay, pro bono, like a lawyer would do,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give this kid therapy until he need, it's got to
And
be
even the
some kind
coaches.
of fund or something to,
Yeah, it's long term.
that's long term. Yes.
Yeah, that is.
Like you
Yeah,
can get them therapy for 2 or 3 weeks. That's not going to be enough. But
No.
these are these people jobs too. So that's where I don't know if that's where another um kind of sponsorship situation would come in.
that's good.
And
I want
maybe
to
since
remind.
their family caused it, maybe since Mr. Talib family and league is the one that's responsible, maybe he can offer those services
Yeah.
to pay for them.
I just
I'm
want to
just
remind everybody that the GoFundMe, I'm putting it in the comments for they're raising money for Mike's funeral. Um, so if you want to donate, it's in the comments. So
I'm
let me just, we have an updated version of the video. Let's just show that before we get ready to close out, you guys. Um, oh, wait a minute. I think this is it.
The yard handshake as that game comes to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, uh-oh, my dude got a stick. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Jesus! Jesus!
Coward. So I can say.
Wow.
yeah, that
That
we definitely need to be praying, God,
Yeah.
for 'em. Definitely. Uh,
it's like so speechless. How many times I done saw that it just
yeah.
it's almost yeah. Just watching it, it does. I mean, it brings out fear, it brings out anger, anxiety. It brings out all types of emotions. Just watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely keep them in prayer.
and so it
Our kids, period.
imagine the the families that have built really good relationships with Coach Hickman.
Mm.
That he's become like a brother to them or mentor or just like a family man to the mom and dad that said, hey, this is our brother, you know what I mean? So this is our kid uncle. You know how we do, we all he around
Yep.
so much. I mean, so even the kids, not only the kids, those family, the grown-ups that have built a really strong bond with them or the coaching organization. Once your kid being with a coaching organization a lot, you build like a family with, that's your
Yeah.
family.
Hmm.
Yep.
A lot
So
of people had some positive things to say about Coach Mike. Oh my God.
all of them, I
He's a
ain't heard a word.
family man, wife. I mean, he has a beautiful wife. I mean, it was so positive. I didn't never get to meet him or anything, but it was like great dad, and it's just crazy. When you do the right thing, you got the dads that doing the right thing.
Right.
You want to take them out.
Yeah.
And it's just like rage in that video. It's like when you look at that video, and if you were to slow that video down and look at that video and try to see, okay, the person who shot him, and then you back it up and see where did he come from, and you
Mm-hmm.
realize that he's in the very back of this altercation. Like it
Mm.
looked like you saw something going on and you decided to walk up and you saw it,
Right.
and
Mm.
you saw it and you cocked your gun and then got there and it was ready to go and you got up there and you just decided to shoot this man. Not only did you shoot him when he falling down or running away when he realized he shot, you kept going after him and then you look like you want to stand over him and shoot him. But your brother had to come pull you off of him. Like
See,
you
I
were in
see. You
two or
think
three
like
feet.
me.
Mm.
Look, I
You think like
investigate
me.
everything. It's like why? Like
Come on out of here.
what had you that mad? But the word is that prior to that happening, you had already said something and threatened with your gun in the previous game that day. This
Mm,
was from another parent. This is from the same cousin of Mike's that got the information from another parent who was in the game the day, earlier that day, that you decided that whatever you was upset, you had murder on your mind that day. Cause you
Yeah.
even said y'all gonna make me kill a MF up here today in the previous game.
Mm.
So you already was angry about like what made you mad at that game to threaten somebody? So they called the police up there and talked about it. They said they saw two police at that game, but as she said, she feels like that once they got there, they were able to get talk to the officers and be like, "Oh, that's Talib, blah blah blah. He's good. It's not that serious." And the officers were no longer there. But another individual said they were there. They were just in. They weren't on the field. They was in the car, maybe outside. They wasn't, standing present on the field when all that stuff happened. But yeah, they were already informed about this man threatening to shoot somebody in the game before. Whatever made him mad in that game. I don't know if they were playing in that game and he threatened, but then it come to this game, you actually did something.
wow. So he was ready. He was looking for something.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
was, he already was ready
He
to
obviously some had him
yeah.
heated that day, but when I
Mm-hmm.
got that entire story today directly from a family member's mouth, that's actually hands-on handling everything on
Mm-hmm.
behalf of his wife. I'm not getting this from hearsay, from a oh
Mm-hmm.
he said, she said, a random person that's just saying I heard and they well they is his family for me. Like it ain't no third party I'm getting this from.
Mm.
Now this is the
And
brother.
she wants to share as much as possible with it. She would
Mm-hmm.
say she wants to share it. They want to get it out to every outlet that they can
Mm-hmm.
about what the real story is and why this happened. And they said they are not going to stop. And they felt like it was very disrespectful for the brother to get on there and act like he had no involvement. And these people are paying for a funeral, but not even say, well, my league and I'll contribute or pay for this funeral. Like they didn't offer any of that, and that was one of the things she said she felt like would have been if you're not involved, but you know it's having something to do with your league or whatever, why not offer to help pay for some expenses of the funeral or the whole funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they felt that that was very, you try to pull yourself away from the event, but you're clearly there. You're the one pulled your brother away from shooting a guy, but
Mm.
you was in the front of the stuff with everybody else.
And then there's a video from the news that was saying that he turned himself in because he wants everybody to hear his side of it, and that it was in defense.
So yeah,
The attorney is saying that it was on his
self
side,
defense.
the defense side,
Self defense.
self defense. Yeah,
As I said before, self defense, you're running away from the threat, not to the threat.
yeah. So it's
The
gonna be
lies
very.
you tell yourself.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
got if you is he's threatening you in any kind of way,
Oh
he
God.
running from you're running from the threat, not to the threat. And this man was outnumbered. He
Right.
had the yard mark in his hand because that's the job he was doing at that moment. But he had every right to defend himself when he found himself in danger with more than with three, four, five people. It was like eight people right there.
Yeah, you just let's replay the video again.
He's backing up. He trying to get away from y'all. How y'all?
Exactly.
The yard handshake as that game comes to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, uh-oh, my dude got a stick. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Jesus! Jesus!
That one said fifth more than one shot.
Yeah, he shot 5 or 6 times. I think he was hit four,
Yeah,
or was
four
it five
times.
times? Was it 4 times? And he was swinging that thing, but he trying to defend himself from getting attacked. They had already said that when the ball was on the ground, and he went to pick it up from wherever the guy that kicked it. When he went down to get the ball, he got stole on.
Wow.
Mm.
Why did you even hit him? He going to just get his ball. But even if that wasn't the case, all of y'all are running up on one guy.
Well, see, one of the biggest things that I'm concerned about is how many kids he put in danger with that situation. You
Hmm.
know, because none of those bullets had a name on it, and they ain't gonna stop until they hit something.
Yeah.
So, you know, your aim may not have been as good as you thought it was, and that bullet may have traveled somewhere else. The next thing you know, it's in the side of somebody's car, or it done hit
Ricochet.
some kid, or yeah, you know. So you don't have no defense.
Yeah.
Sad to say it, you don't have no defense.
At
Come
all.
on, Mr. Scott.
At all. Yeah, ain't no excuse. Absolutely no excuse for that.
Well, we know he put at least 80 kids at risk because there were 80 kids out there, plus parents, coaches, refs. It's just really selfish, a very selfish and self centered act
Hmm.
to not think about the fact that you could have killed someone's child.
Yep.
And the fact that you were in the back, you wasn't even threat. You weren't even where you could be threatened. And then I know it's a law where if you see someone else's life in jeopardy, you have the right to defend that person or whatever. By law, you can. They life, this man's life was the one in jeopardy.
Mhm. She said from the point of view, Mike had slipped, and it was plenty of space between them. When the dude pulled out his gun, he just started shooting. Mike was getting up
Mm-hmm.
from off the ground. Mike
Mm-hmm.
was outnumbered. No reason should he have gotten shot. Such a
That's true.
tragedy.
Yep.
Trigger
I
happy.
totally agree. Like this man done got, yeah, the hole done fell out his hand and he done got thrown down. He got back
Mm-hmm.
up so that he couldn't, he probably reacted fast, like, oh, I got to get up. All these guys finna jump on me while I'm sure, if you fall down in the midst of a scuffle, you trying to get up because you know what's going to happen if you stay on that ground and you outnumbered. He didn't have nothing else in his hand no more at that time.
Yep.
Yeah. And what happened to just doing this?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm,
And everybody go home and everybody's still living. You know?
yeah.
The internet.
What
Yeah.
happened to leading by example and remembering that kids are watching you? So
Yeah.
you just, like we tell kids all the time, don't hit people, have self control, talk it out, tell an adult. Like, what happened to actually doing what you tell the kids to do?
Yeah. I don't know.
They brought the
Well,
street to the football field. That's it. That's all. His mentality, not everybody, but his mentality. And again, he has a track record.
Yeah. So hopefully he in there thinking about it now.
Come on out of here.
Hope you think about it now. And you should have, and it shouldn't have took that for you to think about that because you have a child on your own yourself. Now he finna catch the flack. From my understanding, from a friend, I didn't even realize he got a kid that's like a 3-star right now
Mm.
in
Oh
high
wow.
school. Guess how he's feeling at school and finna get messed with probably.
Well, even coaches, like what college coach wants to extend a scholarship to a
Oh,
kid who
that's a
has a
good
parent who's
thought.
violent?
Yeah. I heard
right.
he's been recruited. Well, I didn't even know realize, but I do a lot of registration with some of the organizations, and I've had conversation with this man before, and never since did he have that kind of heat because at the A1D1 um athletic field that a lot of the guys work out at and stuff, I've when they've had camps there, I've helped like with the registration to get a kids checked in,
Mm-hmm.
and he would be sitting at the desk because that's his brother's facility. He just was so laid back. I just did not know about the background of him until now. I mean, I remember hearing about the stuff with the brother, in the league, but then I didn't realize to what extent it went to until not till here recently. But I didn't know the history was like that. But all the stories you hear is the first thing they do is pull a gun.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Oh, see.
Both of them, not just one of them, both of them.
I'd be willing to bet that scholarship came off the table.
Huh?
I'd be willing to bet that that scholarship that that young man had, that 3 star had, probably
Mm-hmm.
no
Dang,
longer
Oh,
exists.
yeah.
that's sad. And see, that's
Yeah.
go another person it's affecting his own son, who's
Mm.
oh,
Like literally, college coaches, like, do you want that type of parent on your sideline?
or that publicity.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Because
bring this
college
kid,
coaches are going to make bad, no one agrees with every decision that a college coach makes. No one does. And so
right?
do you want that on your sideline? Absolutely not. Parents fail to realize all the time that coaches are recruiting families, not just kids, and that our
Hmm.
behavior does impact the athletic opportunities that our kids have.
That's true. Absolutely. That's true.
Hmm. Then they don't want certain media, negative media. First
Yep.
thing they'll do is what? They'll name the father,
Mm.
such and such's father, the son of so and so, who did this, that, the other at a little league kid. Who want that to be part of their headline?
It'll be the first on ESPN.
Off the top. And it done took the complete attention off the accomplishment of this kid.
Yep.
But see, in the minds of coaches, they may think there's a whole family like that. So they're probably going to look at that from a standpoint of, okay, do we really want to bring this family to our campus if we got a lot of hot heads in that family?
Yeah.
That's
Then
true.
they look at that background and they find out, oh, the whole family like this? Because
Yeah.
that's where
Because all
they,
you kept seeing down Facebook, the NFL, the brother of the NFL player.
Yep.
That's all you kept seeing.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's
He
gonna
ain't
pop.
one to pull the trigger, but he was there,
Mm-mm.
but
But
still,
they
he was
say he was
part of that
there.
altercation though.
Was he on that field?
Yep.
In the bucket hat, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Are
Yep.
they twins?
They look alike, don't they?
They
Yeah.
they almost. I think I can't figure out. I don't know which one the oldest. I think Talib the oldest. I think.
To Lee.
I don't remember which one is the oldest. But they do. They're like twins. One of them is just a shade darker than the other.
Mm.
They look like identical twins.
Mm.
But I always thought they was laid back, chilling.
Well, it sounds like they may have some anger issues. Like you
Oh,
say, go back to the emotions. That's what I'm picking up. Anger. They may be laid back and chill,
oh
but when
yeah.
something pop up, when it's something that triggers,
It
because
go
I'm
from
telling you,
zero to
that
10.
little incident happened right there. Um, that take me back to my high school days. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
I'm gonna be real, like
Yeah.
literally, but at a club or
Hmm.
Yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, got some
All
issues.
all right, you guys, as we're getting ready to close, would each one would like to just say their parting statement shots out there?
Well, I
Well,
just gonna say my condolences to the family, and then I hope that this entire situation, it's hard to say if it's gonna be able. I mean, it's gonna be a hard thing to heal from, but I would hope that anybody else who have those negative reactions, at games and blow things out of proportion, that this right here is a reminder of to control your emotions. This is not only in little league, but in middle school and high school. I've always been a firm believer if you have an issue with a coach, yelling to him from the stands is not getting you any answers. Just wait until the game over the next day and call a private meeting with a coach. That's how I've always done it if I had an issue or question. But all this on the field is not worth it, and it's long-term effect, not short-term.
I can say thanks to all the family members and all the kids out there that involved in all this because they're gonna be traumatized for a very long time. It's hoping they get the help they need.
I would just say that we as adults, we really do have to start practicing what we preach. We
Mm.
can't tell kids that they have to be disciplined and they have to have self control when we're not disciplined and we don't have self control. And if there are unresolved issues, like if you got triggers and trauma, like please go to therapy, go do the work because in this instance, you have 80 kids who are going to be impacted by poor impulse control. And so we adults, we have to hold ourselves to the same standards that we hold kids to.
I would actually take it one step further. It's going to be more than 80 kids that's going to be impacted. Everyone that was out there, everyone that witnessed that firsthand is going to be impacted some way. Um, and, we as adults have to continue to push the narrative that it's all about the kids. It's not about us anymore. Sad to say, your time and your dream and your opportunity has come and gone. And no matter what it was that triggered you or pushed you to the point where you felt the need to use a weapon because of what? And then to have a previous conversation about the use of a weapon, that's a little premeditated there. So as a result, that should send a message throughout the sports industry that, hey, it's not going to be tolerated. And there has to be a stricter guidelines for um, coaching staff and whomever else. And if someone has a checkered pass or a questionable pass, no, sorry, If you have to do a background screening where if you notice that the person has some type of mental health issues, not today.
I just want to say, everyone, just keep the family in prayer. Not just the family, like he said, the kids, even the parents, whoever was out there, just continue to pray. I mean, we can look at it in the natural, but everything happens in the spirit. And this man came, he had something on him. He was ready to kill. He was ready to kill, and sad to say, he took a life. So just keep everyone in prayer.
I just want to piggyback on what James Etta said as far as us as an adults being the example, setting the example for our kids. Even us as Christians, we're supposed to set examples for the world. And
Yeah.
so we have to really remember that somebody's always watching us.
Mm.
They're always looking at how we act, how we interact, and how we handle situations. So we need to be mindful, and especially our kids are always watching us. So I just want to again remind everybody there's a GoFundMe in the comments to go give a donation for this family to help them with the funeral arrangement as well as the family afterwards. I mean, he was the man of the house. He was the breadwinner, and so you have a mom with kids having to figure out, how to handle expenses going forward. So I'm just asking each and every one to go give a donation to help with that. And yes, we're going to continue to keep this family in our prayers and
Mhm.
keep our kids, keep the world. It's a lot going on, and I know our kids. We're dealing with a lot of things that some of us didn't have to deal with, and so we just gonna have to continue to stay on our knees. So thanks everybody for tuning in to Can We Talk Sports, and thanks James Etta from Sports Mom University, and Michael Scott from Parents Coaching Network that came on to join us. And Anthony has a little league football team as well. And so I appreciate you guys coming on and joining in the conversation. And so I know that you're going to take it, go back to your parents and just kind of help with etiquette, sports etiquette. I guess we're going to have to come up with that, some kind of sports etiquette class on how to. Uh, and I know it wasn't the parents, but I mean, we're going to start somewhere, and so it could be there. But again, thanks everybody for watching the video. Like and share this video. And I will see you guys later. We got some rain over here in Texas, y'all. We've been dry. We got a
Rain,
lot of
rain,
rain. It's cooling off. We're getting ready for the fall, y'all.
Thank God.
rain.
Leave the
And I never
streets
thought I'd
after
say
the
that.
football field.
Go watch. All right, you guys. See you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right.
All right.